The Game Plan, everyone, is brought to you by Max Jazz Games, whose game Kung Pooby you could be playing right now. Kung Pooby. Your gaming week is sorted with Kung Pooby. It's available now on iOS and App Store, and if you say it enough times,
Kung Pooby,
it'll come true. I don't know.
It'll Kung Poo?
It'll Kung Poo. There you go. Say it 3 times in the mirror and it'll Kung Poo. That doesn't sound right. But what does sound right is, of course, the Game Plan. And that's where we look at the games that are coming out this week so you can plan out your week in games. So let's take a look at what's coming out this week. Kicking things off, first of all, Tuesday, December 7th. That's tomorrow. And that's when Final Fantasy XIV?
14.
13. Thank you.
14.
Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker is coming to PlayStation and PC. Prepare for Endwalker, the highly anticipated 4th expansion pack for Final Fantasy XIV Online. Experience the climax of the Heideline and Zordyak story and encounter an even greater calamity than ever before as you travel to the far reaches of Heideline. And even to the moon, Peter.
Amazing. And while you're on the moon, look for Heavenly Bodies on PlayStation and PC. Wrangle the hands and arms of a 1970s space cosmonaut and push, pull, and twist your way through an increasingly precarious range of physically simulated stellar scenarios. Who wrote this? Adam Warlock or Gus Ronald? Where without gravity, nothing is still, nothing is secure, and nothing is simple.
Speaking of things being not simple, Spellforce 3 Reforced is not a simple title to say, and that comes out on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Spellforce 3 Reforced is a unique mix of an epic RPG storyline blended with accessible real-time strategy elements designed to offer a riveting console experience to fans and newcomers alike. In times like these, people cling to any sign of hope they can find. Is this about the game? Yeah. The Purity of Light, led by a charismatic man called Rhonda Lacane, claims that mages are the source of all misfortune, and that only the second coming of Aeonir, the father of all gods, will return Io to its former splendor.
Oh, no. And White Shadows for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC is arriving the same day. The Wolves Are Watching. Venture through a captivating but brutal dystopia where our young adventurer, Raven Girl, will travel through this huge city's brightest highs and delve to its darkest depths on her perilous journey of discovery and finding her destiny where hope seems in short supply.
Thunder Tier 1 is coming to PC. Thunder Tier 1 is a realistic top-down shooter where you join an elite special operations team tasked with stopping a dangerous terrorist organization wreaking havoc across the fictional Eastern European country of Siberia. Can I have one without a weird name to pronounce? But Peter, get excited for the next one.
The next one, of course, being Halo Infinite, coming to Xbox Game Pass and PC on Wednesday, December 8th. Probably 9th in Australia. When all hope is lost and humanity's fate hangs in the balance, the Master Chief is ready to confront the most ruthless foe he's ever faced. Step inside the armor of humanity's greatest hero to experience an epic adventure and explore the massive scale of Master Chief's ring.
Sorry, I just thought we could score all of these.
Ring, but I like Master Chief's ring better.
On Thursday, December 9th, Loop Hero is coming to Switch. The Lich has thrown the world into a time-lost loop and plunged its inhabitants into never-ending chaos. Wield an expanding deck of mystical cards to place enemies, buildings, and terrain along each unique expedition loop for the brave hero.
Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX comes to Switch, PC, and iOS on December 9th also. 20 years since their release, the legendary monster training games Monster Rancher and Monster Rancher 2 are bringing back the exciting days of growing, training, and competing with your unique monsters. Will you grow your strongest monsters by doting on them, or by developing an intense training regime? Find your own style among endless possibilities.
Also on Thursday, Witchwood is coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Witchwood, is a crafting adventure game set in a land of gothic fables and fairy tales. As the old Witch of the Wood explore a strange countryside, collect magical ingredients, brew sorcerous spells, and pass judgment upon a capricious cast of characters. Ooh, some warlocking. I love
tasty. And Siberia, the world before, rounds us out on Friday, December 10th. Set off on an adventure across continents and through time. Play as both Kate Walker and Dana Rose as you get to the bottom of mysteries that have remained buried for too long.
Exciting stuff. Well, far too long, damn it. Well, now you know what's dropping this week. You can let us know what your game plan is down in the comments or in any comment section of any media that you consume this through. But Peter, I want to consume your comments, and that's through knowing what game is it perchance that you'll be playing this week.
Well, I think we can just not talk about Halo because obviously Halo.
Good idea.
But I actually am intrigued by Siberia, the world before. It kind of has a and sorry, one sec. Let me bring it right.
Oh yeah, no worries. Is this is a new title? It just reminded me of maybe an old RPG or an old storytelling game, but maybe it's just the art style looks familiar. Is this like?
It definitely has like Walking Dead, Telltale-y kind of vibes to it in areas, and you know, definitely doesn't look AAA, but I think you know, it's got a couple of cool characters at the lead of it. I love a story game, and it seems to have some cool settings with the time travel. So I'm intrigued. I'm not sure that it's going to be a hit, but the trailer definitely like made me go, huh.
Maybe it's the color scheme.
Never even heard of this. Yeah.
Maybe it's the color scheme and the female protagonist, but I'm getting kind of like the medium vibes, but only in the sense of budget and like scope. It kind of has that sort of vibe with like a really cool, possibly interesting, ambitious idea, but done with this sort of like, AA studio size to it, which looks, and also very grey and brown. And also, I don't know, I'm looking where the developers are from because that did sound like where a developer is by Microids and they're a French developer. So very French.
You know, it's going to be moody.
It's going to be moody AF. It's going to be for your people who like a refined theatre mode. It's that kind of game. Personally, I am very excited to check out Heavenly Bodies. I saw this game a while back, and it had a trailer that I think did really well. It blew up, and people were really excited about this sort of like space physics game. The developer is 2 Point Studio, and they're based in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So they are an Aussie Melbourne developer. We should definitely try and get a chat with them at one point because this looks like just the trailer was great. You're like, oh, okay, it's a physics game. And then this little like, it's just that like lovely sort of trigger controls a limb. It seems like it'll be equal parts sort of frustrating, but also wacky fun. I don't think it, from what we've seen, it doesn't look to be like brutally hard, but it does also have this great kind of like obstacle course nature. And then the setting of having to like repair a space station just seems like, it's just a great concept that,
I think it's like, it's one of the best things that Bennett Foddy has done for gaming is show that these kinds of things are a worthwhile endeavor.
Totally.
You know, like QWOP was this like phenomenon, and Foddy's gone on to make a bunch of other fun and interesting things. And you know, more recently, what's the one when you're in the bucket and you climb the mountain? What's his latest one?
Getting Over It.
Getting Over It. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, which is more a game than he has ever created. But I think it's clear that there's some inspiration drawn from a Bennett Foddy idea for Heavenly Bodies, but with a more structured game built around it, which I think is really, really cool.
Totally.
I'm so keen to play this because I love everything that Foddy does, and I think the thing that I get disappointed about in those games, or why I stop playing them, is because like the reward is only so much. Of playing those. It's like the reward is like trying to master and failing to master the systems, but at least here you can finish it, and I know you can finish Getting Over It, which is like the first time you've kind of been able to finish a Foddy game as well.
But even in that game, like for everything I think it does right and is fun, there is that element of it's kind of like they've just kind of like nothing about it makes it's abstract in its concept, and I really like the directed nature of this being like even just the story of like you are in space, which seems just like a difficult place to be, like versus being a topless man in a pot climbing an abstract bunch of junk. It's like I like the idea of this being a proper little story. There's co-op as well. As I said, from all accounts, it doesn't look like it's hard for this just to try and frustrate you. It's hard because floating in space would be hard. So I feel like there'll be less maybe like controller throwing moments. It'll be difficult, but also I think there'll be some great, like if you go and check out their Twitter and stuff, there's some great GIFs and stuff of just how the ragdoll works. They've worked on it for 3 years and they're really pumped for it to get launched. So that is dropping December 7th, same date as Halo Infinite. So good luck to you guys, 2 Point. I think this would be a nice little palate cleanser in between frustrating rounds of Halo. And then when you get frustrated with this, go back and play Halo and just like bounce between the two.
Yeah. I should also point out, because chat was getting a bit salty about not mentioning that there's a new dungeon in Destiny coming the same day as Halo, but it's like, why would anyone play that over Halo? Come on. It's just
Peter's Peter's Destiny days are behind
it. It is Bungie's 30th anniversary kind of celebration though, which is like clearly, obviously, Halo.
So they get to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Halo and the 30th anniversary of their company.
In the same year. Bungie made Marathon and what else did they make before Marathon?
It's pretty much Marathon and then this.
Marathon,
and then Halo.
Multiple marathons and then Halo and then Destiny.
Multiple marathons. But yeah, no, it's the time for talking about Destiny is over, chat. The time of Halo is now. Again, let the Halo rise from the ashes. And that's the rest of the podcast. And that don't count. Is, as we said, all the games that we're looking forward to this week. But as we mentioned, let us know what yours are as well.